If you're anything like me, when you first saw this Paddington Bear costume character from the new Paddington Musical on the West End, you were blown away. This isn't CGI, don't get confused. This isn't some bear riding a tub down a flight of stairs. This is a real performer. So how does it work? Well, you've come to the right place because I'm your resident puppet and costume expert, and we're about to break down this costume and show you all the details. So let's jump in. Warning, the following is not safe for marmalade sandwich enjoyers. If you are a big fan of marmalade sandwiches and the magic therein, maybe skip this video, because I'm about to talk about the scariest thing to the fans of marmalade sandwiches, and that is puppetry mechanics. To fully explain how Paddington works, I want to first introduce you to one of my favorite other characters that uses a similar illusion as this new Paddington musical, and that's Hoggle from Jim Henson's The Labyrinth. I'm sure you're all familiar with this incredible film, but it is a performer inside of a remote-controlled puppet costume. On the West End, Paddington is controlled the same way. On stage, you have Artie Shaw, an iconic performer who has been in a laundry list of things that you have seen and participated in. She is quite talented, and she brings Paddington Bear to life, doing all the physicality and movements of the character inside the costume, expressing the full range of body language effectively. Nothing about the mask and the costume that she wears is attached to her face or is using her face emotions to control it whatsoever. In fact, most of the Paddington head from the neck up is controlled by a guy off stage played by James Hamid, who's the voice and puppeteer of Paddington, who has all the abilities to articulate its face with an advanced puppetry rig. This cute cozy bear is actually the byproduct of several people working together, and Artie isn't actually the only performer. There are actually 4 separate performers that they have ready to play Paddington at any given time. So it's a whole team that kind of goes into bringing the bear to life. Now, this puppetry illusion is actually pretty tricky to pull off. It's not just as simple as someone wearing the costume with a robot head on. The performer inside, Artie inside the costume of Paddington, has all of the responsibility of doing the physical actions of the character's body language, it's just so important to selling the story and the illusion of this puppetry. It balances the uncanny valley of the talking robotic head. If we just had a moving head and a very simple actor underneath just doing simple arm expressions, it would not sell. But when you have Paddington bearing down to like growl or tipping his hat and like being kind with like a lifted eyebrows and like a light smile, you can see that there's a lot of range of emotion that could be pulled out of this puppet that's not just about the face, but also about the body and how it's acting and moving. You can listen to Sherry Weiss, the original performer of Hoggle from the movie Labyrinth, talk about what she has to consider while performing a character that she actually has no real control over the intentions of.
A head doesn't just speak, it moves while it speaks, and the body has to have the right attitude, the right breathing, and the right, stance, body position, and stuff like that. So it was very important to really act Hoggle out and know what transitions were going on, just as much as the people doing the head.
You can see the Hoggle head as they fit it onto Sherry and how it has almost like a leather sports cap that like it's all like kind of tied into, and that allows you to really visualize the fact that the performer, like Sherry and similarly Artie inside of Paddington, is like down inside of like the jaw of the performer, and like the eyes are kind of like on the top of their forehead. So as you see Paddington kind of like look around and move around, consider that Artie, as she's inside, is like looking way further down or way further up than Paddington actually is, because his head is riding on top of her head like a helmet. So like if you're like, imagine if your head was like had a GoPro strapped to it and you want to make sure you got the right shot that GoPro could see, and who cares what you could see. It's that kind of energy with this costume. So I'm honestly blown away by it. It's very, very cool. Now you can see from the behind the scenes clips of The Labyrinth that it was a huge team and many, many rehearsals went into perfecting the performances that were laid down for film. But there's a serious advantage to doing this sort of illusion with a musical, and that advantage is simple. It's repetition. Much like the incredible illusion that Disney Parks did with the Talking Mickey head, the performers and the team behind the Talking Mickey interaction had multiple iterations of interactions to practice on day after day, and they became masters at it. And so similarly, in a Broadway musical style performance, you have the same emotional beats being explored over and over and over again as the story is told every night. And so the dialogue and all the intentions are set. So the puppeteer and the voice actor backstage can have this sort of outline for the emotional through point and the intent of every kind of beat of the story, which allows the sort of like melding of minds over time to like have the character be just like one beautiful thing where both performers sort of trust each other to lean into the magic of a little bear. I'm sure from the inside, Artie has some kind of visual reference. Like, I mean, even Big Bird and like, you know, Bear from Bear in the Big Blue House had a little monitor inside that would allow them to see. I'm not exactly sure that Artie has any direct visibility in front of her from this costume. I don't see any vision ports out of it. So my best guess is that there are little cameras inside that have like a little screen that allows her to kind of like visually reference. Okay, Dan, you told me a little bit of a history of how this costume sort of like evolved and where it came from, but how does it work? Well, you're actually all familiar pretty intimately with the mechanisms and the technology that goes into making this head work. It's Waldo. You guys remember Waldo? Jim Henson actually named the character Waldo after the rig that was built that was a digital puppetry rig. It's a sort of rig that allows them to control servos and electronics or inputs from anywhere. And what I've always said it looks like is like a little hamburger that you kind of talk into. You can see Brian, who voiced Toggle, here in behind the scenes kind of using the little like hamburger flapper, but it's in all the behind the scenes digital, and like, you know, Fraggles used it with like the Gorgs and the Doozers. They even used it in Muppet Vision when Kermit's on the fire truck on the ladder at the end. You can see photos of Jim like, you know, puppeteering a Kermit robot. And so this technology has existed forever. It's literally been around forever, but it has evolved quite a bit. And Hoggle, I think it took like 4 puppeteers to control the face, and now everything can be simplified just all the way down to a simple PlayStation controller. I mean, if you think about it, you have like 3 sets of articulation. Paddington has eyebrows that kind of go up and down. He has like a smile and like a grin, like cheeks that kind of like move as his mouth articulates, and then his eyes kind of like blink and have movement. And if you think about just holding a PlayStation controller and using the joysticks to move the eyes or flap the eyes, pressing the buttons on the back, the L1 and the R2 buttons to like activate the lips and the eyebrows and make one side go up and one side go down. There's lots of like fun little tricky tricks that you can just put into a simple PlayStation controller, and they've been doing that on Broadway for a while. I mean, like Shrek, the magic mirror face with John Tartaglia, they literally put motion tracking dots on his face and live motion tracked his face to do that big animated puppet that they had in Shrek. So there are so many different options, and technology has gotten absolutely insane. So I'm not exactly sure what tech he's using to puppeteer Paddington backstage, but I am almost certain that it is way simpler of a controller than you think. So honestly, I'm mesmerized by this Paddington costume. I love Paddington. He's a beloved character of British literature. He's just like a really great embodiment of kindness, and also someone who's out of place, like an immigrant that's coming to a new place, the new kid looking for his place in this new big world. And it's such a universal message that I still love. And the films are iconic, and even some of the songs from this new musical have quite the beat and are quite lovely and charming. So huge fan, Paddington. Everything you guys are doing, an incredible team at bringing this incredible illusion to life. Let me know if you guys have any other costume characters out there that you've seen and you want to know how they work, how some puppets work, or how some illusions work. I'm happy to break them all down for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm Disney Dan, not talking about anything Disney remotely, but you know, I appreciate it. Don't forget, you can find me at my podcast, Fun Fun Fun. I am on Cameo, helping you make fun announcements and silly birthday wishes and whatever you guys need. It's, you know, it's the Chuckle King. The Chuckle King is here for you on Cameo, so make sure you swing by there. My Patreon is bopping with a great Discord where we're all chatting and hanging out. So thanks so much for all of the support. You're all amazing. I love my patrons. I love my fans. Thanks for all those comments and likes, and we'll see you next time, guys. You rock. I don't have a good Paddington, but I have a good Pooh Bear. Hello there. Oh, hold on. Let me get to it. There it is. It's a little bit there. I have to work on it. Hello there.
Disney fans, it's me, Pooh Bear Dan here, just enjoying a small smackerel of honey. It's truly delicious. And there is a Pooh Bear musical. There is one, and I could maybe audition for that, but I don't have a sweet, cute British accent. I don't have a good one, so I can't be cute Paddington Bear. I can't take on James Hamid and his lovely Paddington voice. Isn't it so sweet? It's so warm and delicious, like honey. Oh, James Hamid, your voice is like sweet honey coming from Paddington Bear. Oh, Paddington Bear, he likes marmalade sandwiches. And Pooh Bear's like honey. What am I doing? Dan riffs as Pooh Bear. Oh, this is gonna go way deep in the episode, right at the end. So if you're still listening, God bless you, and God bless everyone.